Every empire falls not by the sword, but by the loss of what fuels its power. Imagine a war fought not with bombs or armies, but with elements hidden deep beneath the Earth's crust. No headlines, no battlefields. Yet, this silent war shapes every phone, missile, and satellite orbiting above you right now. These elements are called rare earths, the invisible foundation of modern civilization. And in this quiet global contest, China didn't just participate, it won. The Middle East has oil, Deng Xiaoping once said. China has rare earths. This is the story of how the United States, once the industrial superpower of the world, handed control of the future to its greatest rival. A story of vision, ignorance, and a new kind of empire rising from the mines. Welcome to Decode Empires, where history reveals the hidden patterns of power. Let's decode the hidden war for rare earths, how China beat America. Long before the term rare earths became a geopolitical buzzword, they were seen as scientific curiosities, strange metallic elements with complex names: neodymium, dysprosium, yttrium, 17 in total. They look ordinary, but their capabilities are extraordinary. They make magnets lighter, screens brighter, and missiles smarter. Without them, there are no smartphones, no electric vehicles, no wind turbines, no stealth fighters. By the late 20th century, rare earths had become the new oil, the resource every nation would soon depend on, even if few understood it yet. And back then, America led the game. At the Mountain Pass mine in California, the U.S. dominated global production, refining and exporting these vital elements to the world. It was a quiet monopoly, until China noticed something others ignored. In the 1980s, while the U.S. was focused on Wall Street profits and consumer growth, China was building something far more strategic. Deng Xiaoping, the man who opened China's economy, understood the lessons of empire. He saw that the future wouldn't be decided by oil wells or tanks, but by controlling the supply chains that power technology. So China began its silent offensive, not through war, but through industrial patience. It offered rare earths at prices so low that no Western company could compete. America's Mountain Pass mine, struggling under environmental regulations and rising costs, couldn't keep up. By the late 1990s, it shut down, defeated not by politics, but by China's economic warfare. As one Chinese official put it, "If you control the materials of the future, you control the future itself." While the West outsourced its industries, China absorbed them. It trained chemists, engineers, and miners. It refined not just the ore, but the entire supply chain. From mining to processing to manufacturing, Beijing built total dominance, brick by brick, atom by atom. By the early 2000s, the numbers told the story. China supplied over 90% of the world's rare earths. The United States, once the leader, was now importing the very resources that built its fighter jets and iPhones. It was a stunning reversal. In Washington, few noticed until it was too late. Because in the age of globalization, dependence felt harmless, until it wasn't. Then in 2010, China showed its hand. After a diplomatic dispute with Japan over the Senkaku Islands, Beijing cut off rare earth exports. Within weeks, prices skyrocketed, factories panicked, tech companies scrambled. For the first time, the world saw what China truly controlled and what the US had lost. This wasn't a trade war. This was a demonstration of power, quiet, absolute, and invisible. Rare earths had become more than minerals. They were now weapons of influence. Every missile guidance system, every electric vehicle, every wind turbine, all traced back to China's refineries. The global transition to green energy, meant to reduce dependence on oil, had instead created a new dependence on China. This wasn't an accident. It was the architecture of a new empire, built not on military bases but on supply chains. While the US built aircraft carriers, China built refineries. While Washington debated sanctions, Beijing secured mining rights in Africa, Latin America, and Central Asia. China's state-backed companies invested billions in countries like Myanmar and the Congo, not just to mine, but to own. And each deal tightened its grip on the world's technological throat. Empires of the past conquered land. Empires of today conquer resources. By the mid-2010s, alarms finally rang in Washington. Reports warned of national security risks, military vulnerabilities, and economic exposure. But rebuilding what was lost isn't simple. You see, mining is only the first step. The real value lies in refining and separating the rare earths into usable materials. And that S where China's dominance is absolute. It refines more than 80% of the world's supply. The US tried to restart Mountain Pass, but even that mine had to ship its ores to China for processing. It's like owning the oil well, but not the refinery. Allies like Japan, Australia, and Canada joined the race to build their own supply chains. But for every new project they started, China already had 10. Decades of Western neglect couldn't be reversed overnight. While the US was looking for quick fixes, China was looking 50 years ahead. Today, the rare earth war is entering a new phase. The battle is no longer about who has the resources, but who controls their entire life cycle, from mining to refining, manufacturing to export. This control gives Beijing quiet leverage over industries worth trillions: electric vehicles, defense systems, AI, and renewable energy. As one strategist said, "He who controls the magnets controls the machines of the future." China understood something the West forgot. Industrial dominance isn't built on innovation alone. It's built on infrastructure and patience. It's a lesson rooted in history. Britain once controlled coal and steel. America once controlled oil. Now, China controls the elements of the digital age. And like every empire before it, the others are only realizing the game has changed after the balance has already shifted. The brilliance of China's strategy lies in its subtlety. No invasion, no overt conquest, just dependence. The kind of dependence that makes rivals hesitate before confrontation. How do you sanction the country that builds your batteries? How do you challenge the state that powers your entire tech ecosystem? That's why the rare earth war isn't fought in headlines. It is fought in contracts, logistics, and manufacturing hubs. This is the new empire model. Control the choke points and you control the world. The Roman Empire built roads. The British Empire built ships. The American Empire built markets. China built supply chains. Every empire rises by mastering what others ignore, and falls when it takes that mastery for granted. The US once mastered oil, steel, and semiconductors, but it treated rare earths as just another mineral. China treated them as destiny. This isn't just about resources, it's about foresight. The difference between a trader's mind and a strategist's mind. While America believed the free market would keep it strong, China believed the state must shape the market to secure the future. And that single belief changed the balance of power. History shows us that power belongs not to those who discover, but to those who control. As the world moves towards AI, electric vehicles, and renewable energy, the demand for rare earths will explode. And so will the geopolitical tension. The United States is now investing billions to rebuild its mining and processing industry. But catching up will take time, perhaps decades. Meanwhile, China isn't slowing down. It's investing in deep-sea mining, recycling, and next-generation materials. While others react, China evolves. This is how empires adapt, quietly, continuously, until their dominance feels natural, until the world forgets it was ever any different. Empires don't always fall with thunder. Sometimes they just fade in silence, replaced by another that understood the game better. Rare earths are not actually rare, but control of them is. And control, once lost, is not easily reclaimed. The US may still lead in innovation, but China leads in what innovation needs to exist. That's the real hidden war. Not over land, not over ideology, but over the invisible dust that powers civilization. And once again, history whispers its warning. Every empire builds its own dependence, and every dependence becomes its weakness. This was Decode Empires, uncovering the unseen wars shaping our world. If you found truth in the silence behind power, subscribe. because history is repeating itself.